Ooh, we got a hot one today, man. We got Busy Works Beats, the legend. The legend about to join us. You know, if you know anything about making beats on YouTube, making beats in FL Studio, then you know this dude. Busy Works Beats. Make sure y'all hit a share on your way in. Cause this is about to be it's about to be a hot one, man. It's about to be a hot one, man. Yes, make sure that all throughout the day, throughout this live event that we got cracking today, I want to see y'all hit some badges. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me put a little note. Buying badges helps keep this going. Okay, thanks. We're gonna post that up. Let me pin me. Oh, we got a badge already. Let me get my man Busy Works Beats in here, man. Get my man Busy Works Beats in. We ain't wasting no time this morning. We ain't wasting no time. Uh-oh. Is
There
it
he
him?
is.
Could it be?
What's going on? Let me add my pretty filter. Hold on. How you
Oh, you
feeling?
got, huh?
I said I'm gonna add my pretty filter. I need to look. I need makeup today.
Oh, you
How you
need
feel?
you ain't do makeup, man. You know you gotta go to hair and makeup and stuff. Nah.
He said hair and makeup. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling real good this morning. I don't know if it's the extra shot that they put in this espresso, or if it's, the fact that I'm on here chatting with a big time OG legend today. You going crazy with
I
the
know. I was
with
trying
the
to
filters.
just.
I like it.
I was trying to slide, but it's taking forever. So I'm just laying on this one. This looks cool enough. How you guys? What's the chat up to? What's going
What up,
on?
y'all?
This is morning me. Man, I'm silly.
Yo, I
But
appreciate you tapping in with me this early, man.
oh,
I know-
indeed, indeed. What's the flow for today? What's on
Man,
people's brains?
today I kind of want to first I kind of want to like learn a little bit more about you and your YouTube journey, and then we can get off into some other stuff. So I know like you obviously you got over 800,000 subscribers now on YouTube. How many years you been making content?
I think I started back in 2009. So what's the math? 2021 minus 2009 is what? Somebody in the chat do the math
Come
real
on,
quick.
it's too early for us to do that
Yeah,
math, man.
I'm just playing. It's about 7 years focused. 7 years focused.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll
So
say 7 years. Took
what
seven.
what made you want to do that?
Really, what it was in college. Actually, let me think. Yeah, I was making videos in like high school and early college just to learn. Actually, I started with a Facebook group. People kept asking questions. Thanks for doing the quick math chat because my brain. Um, they were like 14 years, 12 years. So basically, what happened was in a Facebook group, I was learning how to sell beats online because I didn't know how to do it. And then there were people in the Facebook group. It was a very small group that needed help. And then the only way to explain to him how to do whatever he was doing was a video. So I just uploaded the video to YouTube, and that video just mistakenly got more views than just him. And I got motivated. So I just kept uploading videos kept uploading videos to YouTube, and then discovered that I could help more people, and that's how I got addicted to it. So in college, it was supplementing my income. So like it was fine. What's up? Cook is dope. It was supplementing my income. So I was making 300 like every like 3 months or something like that. So it was taking care of my food and different things in college. So long story short, when I graduated, student loan bills came in the mail, and I got freaked out because it's the first real bill I had to take care of.
Yeah.
And I just decided to go all in. And then from that point, I just never turned back. That's how it worked.
Man, it's crazy because I noticed like parts of my story and your story, and every time I talk to somebody and kind of find their journey, I'm like, man, that little part of that is a part of me because I originally started doing YouTube videos for my students. I was teaching in a college, like teaching recording and production, and then a lot of these kids they kept like coming in class late or missing class. So you know what? I was like, I'm gonna put this lesson in a video. I'm gonna post it on YouTube. I'm gonna just send you the link if you miss class. And just similar to what you said, it started gaining more traction than other people outside the class. Like, oh, people find this helpful. Oh, y'all like this? All right, cool. Let's keep going then. So I love to hear that aspect. Where'd you go to
No, right
school?
on. No, that what I can respect about that is that you were helping people. So it's a different thing. Like, a lot of people talk down on teaching, but there's a book by John Maxwell called The Levels of Leadership. And the level 5 leader, which is the highest level, is a teacher
Mm,
and a leader, because what you have to do is duplicate yourself to the people
mm.
under you. And so leaders are the top teachers. That's why I respect people who can educate. It's a different tier of like content, you know what I mean?
Yo, I love that. I love. What's the name of that book again? I need to make sure I take a mental note. John Maxwell.
Yeah, I'll type it in the chat real quick. John Maxwell, I think it's called Levels of a Leader, something like that.
Okay,
By
check
John
it out.
Maxwell. He's known for like his leadership thing.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, to answer you, I went to Villanova University, and I went for biology. Let me try and figure the right filter as we do this. I went for biology. Here's the pretty filter. Is this the girls use? I
Is
look like
that
a.
the one?
There we go. I look light
Man, you
skinned. I got.
pretty enough, man. You good. Is that the secret sauce to your videos? You use the pretty filter? I need to work on
Mm,
mine.
Nah, I'm so self-conscious. That's why my webcam is this small on the YouTube videos. 'Cause I don't feel like getting ready. It takes so long. Um, yeah, I went to school for biology and pre-med, ironically. But what
Wow.
I took out of that is the wisdom to understand systems, and then you can apply it to business. You can apply it to your content. You can do whatever with it.
Mm.
That's where I'm coming from.
Now I feel that and I understand the systems talk because you break that down in like what you see like systems is and the wisdom to understand systems. What does that mean to you?
What it means is, for example, I just helped someone the other day with their what is it called, permanent makeup brand.
Okay.
So what happens is people have services and products, and they just put them out on the market. They just put them on their Instagram and call it a day. But the biggest thing you're going to run into, here's the biggest frustration that I know everybody in the chat has dealt with, is you're going to run into a point where you're bogged down with too many DMs and you don't have enough time. So the first struggle a lot of people will feel is that bottleneck of time. And
Mm.
systems they give you more time, basically. So for example, instead of somebody just hitting you up randomly to your DM saying, hey, I want this, I want you to mix this, or I want you to do custom production on this, you have pre-made Instagram replies. So everybody's hitting you for something. Like there's big buckets. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, absolutely. And it's about three or four things that you know. But
Right.
but
It's
mate, you hit the main one on the head. Yo, how much you charge for mixing? We got the
right.
auto reply for that.
Exactly. It's the first step. You guys, if you don't have auto replies, I don't know if it requires a business account, but you need to and at least have something where you can copy and paste instead of typing it every single time, because that's adding up. It's so redundant.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that, just solving where we're doing the same thing over and over and over again, it wastes time. So to save our sanity, we need to do stuff like have what is it called, the instant reply.
Instant reply. So that's kind of like a template that like I provide, and I think you got templates and beat packs and stuff. So like stuff that we do all the time. Instead of me always loading up reverb send, a delay send, whatever it is, why not open up a template at the start of the mix session? Yes, I can customize it and build from there, but it's a great starting point of something that I do all the time to save me that extra 5 minutes of redundancy.
Right. And you're selling your thoughts. Like, isn't that crazy to think? Like you're selling your thought
Yeah.
process. That's so wild.
It is crazy, man. I love that systems talk too, because that's something that like in our industry, a lot of people we don't focus enough on the business. A lot of engineers and producers they think about making these fire beats or getting better at mixing and getting better at EQing, but that business talk, I think that's a part that's like a lot of people are missing for sure. Um
Speaking of, let me go find your headphones because they were in my
oh
other studio
oh
and I moved locations. But I have the Wavy Wayne headphones. Here they go, right here. Boom. Oop,
it's lit.
hold up. But yeah, a lot of people don't have the business right. So for example, people don't know who I am or like what I do. There we go.
Oh, they go to Wavies. Make sure y'all go to wavywayne.com and cop a pair of them or
Boom.
two.
Yeah, these are really good. I was actually shocked at how, like, I might prefer those over the Audio Technica, even though for tracking, it really doesn't matter like that. You just have to make sure it's not leaking audio.
Yes,
But those were actually really supreme. I just don't record like that to where I need 18 pairs of headphones.
I dig
Um,
that.
yeah, and I think going back a step, my brain went off track for a millisecond. Just take me back to the keyword you just said, because there was a
I
key
think we
thought.
were talking about systems. and business,
Systems.
just kind of business, understand the business in our industry, and how we need to kind of lean in more on that.
Oh yeah, I was saying how people may not know me, so I forgot to introduce myself. That's my
Okay.
morning brain just starting to warm up. I didn't
I
have
don't think
breakfast
nobody
yet.
not know you, but please introduce yourself. Give us a short rundown bio.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm just Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. We've trained over 800,000 producers around the world. Some are going to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, J. Cole, Trippie Redd, NBA YoungBoy. I know I'm missing a pocket of people. Post Malone, if I didn't say that already, and a lot of Billboard charting artists. But not only that, I work with billion-dollar gaming laptop companies where I initiated the deal to do like marketing campaigns. For example, the Razer laptop. Have you ever heard of the Razer gaming laptop?
Yeah.
So Razer gaming laptop, I did a deal with them for 2 years, which was longer than Metro and longer than Sunny and longer than Murder.
Mm,
So what I'm saying is that, I was alongside Sunny Digital, Murder Beats, Metro Boomin. I think it was on the Razer campaign. Who else? Dead Mouse.
yeah.
Okay. And a lot of people just don't know the back end business stuff. So that's why I'm kind of saying, reintroducing myself. Also, what I've done behind the scenes is hook people up with crazy opportunities, like a thing out in Denver where these celebrities perform for this like field day event out into this NFL field. I just passed the deal to somebody. It was worth thousands of dollars, but I passed it to somebody else who was a well-known producer I almost said out of the band. I got to watch my mouth. But I passed that opportunity to somebody who's a big West Coast producer, let's say that.
Okay.
And I work with the top audio companies like yourself. That's why I respect you, because you get it. It's a
Yeah.
different thing. Like I've worked with Isotope, Arturia, Image Line, who made FL, Universal Audio. I know I'm going to miss a bunch of companies. Waves,
Yeah.
Sweetwater, who's a $600 million company. So
Okay.
when you work with these, like, I know I'm saying a lot, but when you work with these
No.
billion-dollar, $100 million companies, they just think completely differently, and it helps you think completely differently and how to grow your business quickly, because that's what they're trying to do.
Yo, I love that. You definitely like you spitting the games there. And one thing I was just recently talking about, one of my last podcast episode, we got a podcast called Married to Music. We were talking about how to use your job to kind of fund your music career, because a lot of people want to quit their jobs and go off and like, oh man, I'm gonna be a producer and quit my job. Like, nah, you don't necessarily need to quit your job, but there's something you can use that job for. So back to when I was teaching at the college, I worked myself up to a position of program director there within a matter of years. And what I learned there more than anything was the systems. I learned how the courses are created, the online content, the way that you need to get students in, to get federal funding to get students into a school, like how to run a whole school. And so I got all that. And my whole time while I'm there, I'm like, man, when I'm gonna have my own school. Like I know every single thing. I know every point person I need to talk to, every kind of book that I need to keep, what kind of posters we need to have on the wall to make it an official workplace. So just stuff like that. I just want to encourage people, like whatever job you in, whatever position you in, learn from it, use it, like learn their systems more than anything. I think that's I'm not sure who the author is, but it's that book called 4 Hour Work Week, right?
Tim
I'm sure you
Ferriss.
Tim Ferriss. So I know you hip on it, right? It's basically talking about how you should create the franchise method for your business, to where everything has a system and everything has an exact way of operating.
Right. Once I realized that basically SOPs, what they call, if you guys want to explode your business, here's what you have to do. You have to literally create a tutorial for each thing in your business. Like whatever you're doing, like if it's just posting to Instagram, you record yourself doing every step of posting to Instagram and how you do it. That's basically what it is. That's
Yeah,
why a level 5 leader is the highest leader, because we can build out step-by-step tutorials basically for our employees and our team to do stuff. And then they do it. And then we get exactly what was in our mind. That's why we're so good of leaders, for example, like yourself. And, because I'm dealing with what you're saying is so powerful, because I'm dealing with currently a $6 billion protocol in Web 3.0 called the Near Protocol. And their whole thing, like you said, is your Wavy's information and knowledge and wisdom. Colleges hire people like him to teach their schools. So he's realizing, he's like, wait, if they're hiring me to teach them, why don't I just create my own thing? And there's no middleman.
exactly.
Whoa, I almost knocked over my whole setup here.
Yeah,
And
see, like that. That's the bit they hear you talking that higher level talk, man.
yeah, I got to turn off my webcam. Let me put the little sticker over my webcam. No, but basically dealing with these, like even with the Web3 companies, They have these gazillionaire investors. They have the smartest people in the world who
Yeah.
have like the Google verification test and all that. But the problem is they don't have the culture. And
Mm.
so it's our job to move people to the tech. And what I'm saying is, once you realize how it's just everybody has a system, but it's also about who makes the system cool. Um, I don't want to go on a tangent, but
No,
that's the power of music. I just want people to
no,
understand, like,
that make a lot of sense.
oh, you got a
And I,
badge.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to the badge supporters, man. If y'all ain't buying badges, we about to end this. You know what, busy? I'm gonna just FaceTime you.
Juju, hey Juju.
I'm gonna just FaceTime you personally, man. We can share these nuggets between ourselves, man. I don't think they want us here.
Oh no, I'm here as an open book. Shout out to Juju. She makes me so happy. I just love her grind. If you guys want to study a woman who's doing instead of just talking,
Yeah.
go follow Juju. She's super dope.
Word
Clubhouse.
up, man.
Have you ever been on Clubhouse?
I've been on Clubhouse a few times, like probably a year ago, when it was exploded as a huge thing, but then I fell back from it. Are you still active on Clubhouse?
Yeah, I kind of came back to Clubhouse. What's up, Juju?
Okay.
And it's kind of like the Harvard. It's like the network
Mm.
effect. Keith Keys is here. What's up? I'm just saying what's up to the chat because I want to
Yo,
acknowledge everybody.
that's what's up, man. Shout out to everybody that's popping in.
Yeah, because how did you get your network of people? Like, how did you find your circle? Because that's something that a lot of people are going to be asking about. How do you network? How do you get in the sessions? How do you do that?
Oh, me? How did I get into sessions and network with people?
Yeah, like, because there's a lot of
Outside of
introverts. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I
a lot of
mean, for me, like I started off just interning, right? At originally I was an intern at Quad Studios. So after I left Full Sail, I went and got an internship at Quad Studios, and then I would just hang around the studio, let people see me working and work up from there. And that's really in by making certain friends here, friend here, and it was always a friend somewhere that had an opportunity. That's what the craziest thing is. Always somebody on the sidelines that was somewhere like the receptionist or the best friend of the artist or something that I made an impact with that would call me back later and say, you know what, Wayne, we got this other opportunity for you. We got this job for you. Can you come and engineer here? And so it would always kind of happen for me like that, just by just being a genuine person and being friendly with people throughout my career on my way up. And now, like, I'm building a network and help cultivating this network for other people through the Wavy Seals, right? And the Wavy Seals Elite. So that's basically I started to realize how powerful the community aspect of it, of this whole thing that we doing is. So, and I started in the comments, I'm posting my YouTube videos, I'm seeing a lot of the same people in the comments, like, they always there. And you like, yo, these my peoples, like these my tribe that always show up for me. Like I need to do something for them and rock with them on another level. So I started off with the Facebook group, Wavy Seals. And so that's why I'm there. I'm posting more. We can get more interactive. You can see a little bit more day to day. And then I took it even further with the Wavy Seals Elite, which is a membership community where I'm actually like bringing people that I learn from and who I look up to as mentors and bringing them to another platform to talk to the people that kind of look up to me like, yo, if you think this was tight, look and see where I learned, my stuff from. And so I like to bring those kind of people in and have all these kind of community events, mix contests and do practice mixes and all stuff like that. But I think it's dope having that community for sure. So
Yeah, that's a super dope name. Give us. I'm gonna engage with everybody who's here. Give us a cool emoji if you guys are in the Wavy Seals, because
what a Wavy Seals
that's
at, man.
that's such a unique branding name. That's hilarious. The Wavy Seals. No, but that's exactly what it is. Do you have Discord by any chance?
I do have Discord, and that's definitely. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to talk to you about that. I see you heavy off into the metaverse space, into the Web3 space. Like I got a lot to learn about that, and so like, what do you think are some of the most important kind of things that we need to be focused on with the Web3 and the metaverse life?
Sure, you guys. I need them to okay me because if I go down the rabbit hole, I'm not going to come back. So you guys want me to go down the rabbit hole? Put the little rabbit emoji. That will let me know how deep. Let me see. Here's the
Do we
emoji right
want Busy to go down the rabbit hole? I want him to go down the rabbit hole, man.
here.
So please go down the rabbit hole. Look.
I'll keep it like surface level though. But shout out to everybody who's here. Forgive me if I didn't acknowledge you yet. It's hard for me to read that fast. But
Shout out to all the Wavy Seals that chopped in too.
Oh, the little swimming emoji. That's hilarious. The wavy still. So what was I going to say? So Web3, basically, it's the same thing that we're doing right now, but it's about understanding that you can literally cut out everybody who's screwing you over in the music business. Just keep it that simple. You can take out the crooked lawyers who work for the labels, who are not really on your side. You could take out the managers who are stealing money. Did you see the new Palace interview with Producer Grind?
No, I didn't see that yet.
Oh, he goes over a story where, pardon me, allegedly his manager was taking money and hiding things from them and keeping, like causing dissension within their own team. So
Okay.
there's people like that in the industry. We got to remember, like, music started on gangster street mob level stuff. That's where it started. So it's found like all these top artists that you guys see, it's not that they just are lucky. It's not that they're just so talented. It's that they're backed by people who are in the streets who need their money clean, basically.
Yeah.
So a lot of the music industry you see is, I'll say, an illusion. Not that you can't be successful, but you want to make sure you understand what made somebody successful. Because in Web3, it's the same exact way. And I'm saying that to say this about Web3 is that, for example, have you heard of NFTs before?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the chat because I love asking them. They're like our second brain.
No, we definitely need to know where they at with it.
Yeah, have you guys heard of NFTs? So basically, here's how the wealthy stay wealthy. The reason people kept saying NFTs are scams is because remember people kept changing their profile picture into random random
Right.
stuff.
Yes. Like using the little apes and stuff, and they putting
Yeah.
it on a profile picture now.
Yeah, like the Bored Apes, I can understand because they have copyright things, but the other ones where you're paying millions of dollars just to change your profile picture is insane to me. Now,
Uh-huh.
here's why people are spending millions of dollars. I'm going to give you guys a secret. Hopefully, the CIA isn't listening or anything like that. But here's what it is: wealthy people. What's up, Ricey? He's the top beat battler in our beat battle league, by the way. Shout out to Ricey.
Oh, what's up?
Um,
I see.
so millionaires, gazillionaires, wealthy people, what they do is they buy NFTs because it's a certain asset class. So let's say they buy something for $2 million. They can then go and take a loan against the thing that they just bought. So for example, if you buy a car, for example, or if you buy a house, let's say a house, you can actually borrow against the house. So I buy a house for 2 million. I can go to the bank and borrow, let's say, a
You
quarter
can
of
do
that.
that for your car too, though. Shout out to the title loans. Shout out to the title loan.
You can. There's a such thing as a title loan. That's
There's a
hilarious.
title loan, man. This is a spot right up the block, man. You might be in a certain kind of neighborhood to get that, though.
Check cashing place too.
Yeah. Hey, right
Uh,
next to the title loan.
that's hilarious. So let's say it this way: if you guys buy $2 million home, you can then go to the bank and say, "Hey, bank, my house is worth 2 million. I'm going to use this as collateral. In other words, if I don't pay this loan back, you could steal my house." So I go to the bank. I say, "Here's a $2 million home. It's collateral. I'm going to borrow, let's say, a quarter of that. So what's a quarter of 2 million? 500,000. So the bank will give me 500,000 in debt or a loan. So now I have $500,000 I've never had before. So rich people, they buy these $1 million assets and then they borrow against the asset because they use the asset as collateral. So in other words, if they spend $200 million on NFTs,
Mhm.
they'll borrow, let's say, 100 million, and they can live off the 100 million without ever paying it back. That's how the rich people stay rich. They never use their own money.
Mhm.
They put their money into assets and then borrow against the asset, and that's how they keep their wealth. So that's why NFTs were so huge and billions of dollars were flooding into the market because of that. So that's why you're hearing so much about NFTs. But music,
Real reason. Okay.
I know this is a lot. I know this is a lot. But in music, the reason I said it started on gangsterness is because all that wealth. Have you seen the thing with T-Pain where he's talking about how musicians only make 13%?
I don't know if I seen that. I might be out the loop. That wasn't that
Oh,
Netflix documentary, was it? No, it was something different.
no. No, you haven't seen the T-Pain. He's like ranting. He's on either a podcast or he's ranting. He's like, musicians and producers only make 13% of what they create. Can you imagine this? You have $100. You hand it to me and I give you back 13.
Wow. That's definitely robbery, man. How is that happening?
It's happening because the system, going back to systems, is set up to remove your value. So the system is set up to lock up the value of an artist. Why does it take artists 9 months to get paid? Why does it take them more than 2 years to get paid sometimes? Why do they not get paid up front? Why do you have to go through so many organizations just to find your money? These are all problems of Web 2 in the old world of music. And that's why the 80% of your wealth is hidden. So long story short, all the 80%, the music business right now is worth 40 something billion. 40 billion, and you're not touching 80% of that. How much is somebody in the chat? Who's a mathematician in here? 80% of 40 billion. Somebody please do that math.
I don't know, but as you talking, Ethereum just dropped 5%.
You got the coin market cap notifications. That's funny.
Yeah,
Or
see.
there's crypto.com.
Word up.
And all I'm saying is, I'll wrap this kind of rabbit hole up, is that
Nah.
that 80%, somebody didn't do the math yet. I see we're not the smartest. What's up, Cheese? I see we're not the smartest math people in the room. But 80% of 40 billion is now transferring into your hands as an artist. There's no more gatekeepers, no more lawyers screwing you over, accountant, all those people. You have the systems of Web 3.0 to take care of that. So that's basically it. 80% of the wealth
It's
is
gonna be
coming back.
through, like, basically in Web 3.0 just means like putting things more on the blockchain to where it's verified and having the smart contracts to kind of handle business for us in a way.
I don't want to like make it too dreamy,
Uh-huh.
but you still need like lawyers and stuff as far as law. I'm trying to make this simple. Basically, it's like, you know how they say robots are taking jobs?
Right.
It's the same thing with Web3. Like robots are taking people's actual jobs that went to school, like smart people's jobs.
Right.
So it's going to be a beautiful time for creatives. We're going to get so rich doing what we. It's not even that we're going to get rich. It's that you're going to get the value that you deserve.
Uh-huh.
That's the best part. Like people aren't going to be robbing you anymore. So it's going to be fun to make music again.
That's dope, man. So I see you also, you just put out a book recently.
Oh yeah.
Tell me
What
a
you know
little bit
about?
about this journey and what's your book about?
Sure. It's called Busy Signal. It's completely free. The way to get it is you have to reply to my story, the word book. Please spell the word book right. Some people put book exclamation mark. Some people put book like random emojis. And my robot doesn't know how to respond to certain messages if you don't type the word book. So even I use systems and automation. For example, here's an example. There's a company called ManyChat. Have you heard of it before?
Mini chat. I have heard of mini chat. I'm not using it yet, but it seems like I need to. We taking a
Yeah.
look at it.
Do you plan on like writing like a book or some kind of? You said you have free something to give out.
I give out like a PDF here and there, like session setup guide and things like that, of how to prep the session. But I am planning to actually do an ebook.
Okay.
So is that mini chat something that helps you with that?
Yeah, yeah, and you collect the email and you collect all that.
Oh yes, I collect emails. I definitely collect emails and phone numbers too. So I do email and phone number, text campaigns and stuff like that.
Okay, good. He was like, I collect some email.
Yeah.
Uh, that's good because I was gonna say. So basically, how it works is when you reply to my story, the word book on that specific any story, my
Okay.
robot says, "Oh, hey, somebody DM you the word book," and then it goes to a step-by-step chain of things. So it'll say, sorry for your wait. Here's the book, and then it sends you a book link for free. You don't have to do anything else. And then my robot says, hey, if you're interested in, whatever, click this link. So it's just an extra little thing on top of the book. So the book's completely free, and the book's about basically online, how to create your online business, how to be independent as an artist and producer. That's basically what it is. It's because I know I'm so long-winded, but I didn't come up in the traditional path, and that's why so many industry producers talk crap about me, is because I'm showing people you don't need them. I'm showing the industry execs you don't need them, and they get very offended when I kind of make their job seem um, what's the word? Desolate? That's not
Yeah.
the right word.
Obsolete.
Obsolete.
Yeah.
Obsolete. And I just came like I'm the most in the industry, not in the industry person. It's the craziest thing. So that's what the book's about: how to grow without people blocking you, but still be in the music industry. If that makes sense.
Okay. Now this bot that you got, congratulations on the book, by the way, man. I think that's dope, and that's all, like, that's goals for anybody to be able to put their own book out. So that's super dope. The bot that you got, is that part of Instagram or something else, like a third party thing that you got set up?
Yeah, on ManyChat they're
The mini chat.
verified. Yeah, they're verified and like allowed by Facebook and Instagram. So there's like a
Okay.
vetting process by them, and there's certain rules you have to follow. Like I don't want to bore people to death, but basically, yeah,
Look,
yeah.
listen, look. If anybody bored on here, they can log off, man. I'm here trying to,
No,
I'm
don't
trying to
log
learn
off. Don't
something.
log
Look,
off. Don't log
I'm trying to learn
off.
something.
No, on mini chat, it's just as long as you don't like abuse people's DM and like message people who didn't ask for you to message them, stuff like that, you're
Okay.
gonna be fine. But I was kind of skeptical too. But it's allowed and approved by Facebook as long as you follow their guideline, which is just people have to give you permission. You know, you're not going to cold call people the same way we're not going to do it online.
Word up. So if they respond to your chat or something like that, then that's how then you can engage them from there. You said you wanted this free thing, ain't nothing free.
Ain't
And
nothing
since
free.
you wanted this free thing, we're gonna have to talk to you a little bit. But I like that.
Yeah. Wait, let me ask you. Does your phone have that thing where it silences calls from unknown numbers?
I think I can do that. Yeah, like I got an iPhone. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I can do that.
Yeah, I was getting so many unknown calls. It just popped up one day that said, "Do you want to silence these unknown calls?" And I was like, "Yes." So the same thing happens with Facebook and Instagram. If people don't want us DMing them, it's just like they don't want us DMing them.
Right, they'll silence you.
They'll silence you literally.
Yeah, I mean, and to me though, I think it's like Grant Cardone, man. He got that he got a book that he was basically saying, look, I want to be that obnoxious person. No, I want to be posting all the time, emailing you all the time, to where you gonna either love me or hate me, like, and I want to draw the line real clearly so that I can focus on the people that love me and anybody that's in the middle, like we not get out of here, you know.
Right. Do you study under Grant Cardone?
If by that you mean like I've read a couple of his books, yes, and what I'm saying I watched some stuff that he put out, but yeah, the 10x rule, I've read that, and it's another something else that he put out that I had the audio book for, but yeah, I think what Grant Cardone he say a lot of dope stuff, and so anybody that's dropping gems that can help like help me think in different ways. So I didn't go to any business school or anything like that, so I kind of find people I that I like what they doing in business, and I try to study what they doing, and if they got something to say about it, I listen to it. So that's kind of my model.
Right, because I see you every day. I think my chat froze, by the way. My whole screen just froze. But by the way, because you post every day, you're seen every day. So what is your next goal that's public, I should say? What's the next thing?
Um,
This is
I
like
mean, I got so many things that I'm like, I don't know what is public though. No, I mean, honestly, I'm really just want to grow my following even more, reach more people, create more courses. That's really the next thing, is to just keep creating more courses, and honestly be like and be that school that I was talking about. Link up with other educators to where it's not just me, and bring a music education online to a central platform. Like that's really kind of what I'm working towards. So, um,
right. Yeah, I love that because you can leverage your relationships and then they get benefit as well. So everybody wins. The people get the knowledge that they never got.
yeah,
You get compensated for all the time and energy and brain power that it takes to run an organization. The people who contribute to your platform are going to get exposure, like known to people, and they're going to get compensated to a degree. And then everybody wins. That's a win-win-win. The platform
Exactly.
approach.
So, I'm glad you think that way, because I need you to be one of our instructors.
Yeah, I'll do a course or whatever you want because I like
Word up.
to. It's about synergy, like, and you could use platforms like Thinkific is what I use. You could use Kajabi,
Yeah, I'm
and
using Kajabi right now, and I went from Teachable to Kajabi.
yeah, Kajabi. I heard they have podcasting now. You can do a whole pod. Is that why? Is that how you do your podcast on the thing?
No, I don't. I was already using another platform, Anchor, to do the podcast on. But what I go to Kajabi just because they had like the course creation and the way that you can just build stuff. It was just super easy, and also my membership group. So the Wavy Seals Elite, we're hosted on Kajabi. I was literally like hosting like a private Facebook group, but we switched over and we're now hosted on Kajabi, to where we got a lot more control over how everything works, and everybody not on Facebook anyway. So
Right. See, this is the level of depth people have to understand because they're not exposed to it. But this is the business. It's not how to make the beat. It's not how to mix it. I mean, it is about how to mix the snare. It's not about the music theory. It's not about anything I teach.
yeah,
That's the product. What people are missing is the how to get traffic, how to bring people in, and then
yeah,
how to keep people. So we teach the middle part for the most part, which
Yeah.
is how to make the best product, to be best at your craft, and get the most money for your value, get the most value for your time and energy. What people don't see is how much effort it takes for us to get people into our system or our funnel or our business, and then how
Absolutely.
we, yeah, and what we do to keep people around. It's like everybody knows how to dress well. They don't know how to get into a relationship and stay in a relationship. You know what I
Mm,
mean? They know how to maybe get people's attention, but they
right.
don't know how to keep the relationship going. Like it's more than just little tactics.
Nah, it's deep. It definitely take deep thought. It take hard work when nobody looking. Like it's all of that. It's all that important moments that you want to more important, like what the Wavy Seals Elite is to me, like those are my people that's gonna be with me for the long term, the forever kind of crew, so and that's what I'm building. That's what I focus on the most is bringing more and more value to those people, because there is a monthly a membership fee or yearly, so for you to say, okay, look, I want to invest in what you got going on, I feel like you're giving me something. It's all it's a responsibility, and so I want to spend that time. I spend time creating and linking up with other people to come and bring extra lessons and just keep bringing value to them. And that's the part about keeping the relationship, right, and keeping it going. Because yeah, you can come like, oh yeah, this is cool, and this is the same thing I say about once I reach a certain level on YouTube right now, and you got 800,000 subscribers plus. Once I hit 100,000, we're up to 200 now. But once I hit the 100,000, I sat back and was like, okay, this is dope. It's an accomplishment. But really, what this means is that there's 100,000 people that's looking forward to what I'm gonna do next. Right? They're actually saying, yo, Wavy, we're not subscribing to the past content. A subscription is based on the future expectations. So now I got 100,000 people expecting something from me from the future. And shout out to everybody that's following me. Now I see a lot of y'all following me. So that means that look, I gotta now deliver something to y'all. Like now I got a promise that I gotta keep to y'all for hitting that follow button.
That's an interesting way to put it. Is like you're collecting and creating an expectation,
Yeah,
because that's what relationship is. Like you're expecting the other person to behave a certain way. That's interesting. You
yeah,
trust them that they're going to behave a certain way or act a certain way.
exactly. And then when they don't, then you in the relationship, right?
It's unsubscribed. That's funny, man. I got unsubscribed to many times over my content. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, the chat froze on my side, so I'm just winging. I don't know what the chat's saying. Forgive me here, but go back one step because you triggered a thought,
Mhm.
and I should have just kind of said it because I have an Aries brain, and if I don't just get it out, I'm going to
Yeah,
forget.
yeah. Please feel free to interrupt me anytime. I don't know what was it that I was saying about
No,
the responsibility of having a lot of followers and subscribers and things like that, or
no, it was just before YouTube. It was the thing just before you got into YouTube. No, I can't see the chat either, so the chat can't
I
help
don't know.
me. Oh,
Oh,
I
you
can't
can't
see the
see the
chat.
chat. I can see the chat. Let me see what y'all. Yeah, anybody remember what we was just talking about?
No,
Lens is beauty said, Wayne, what camera you using? I'm just using my iPhone. I'm using my
it's the
iPhone.
iPhone 20. Is that the back camera or the front camera?
Nah, this is the front facing camera. But look, y'all don't know about this.
Dang.
I had to peep this the other day. I'm put y'all on the game, man. With the iPhone, when you go to, even if you live, you can swipe down and change your camera settings. So like you can change to be to have a portrait camera, even on no matter what program you're using. It's just make sure you're like up to date on the
Oh,
iPhone.
no. I don't even know which one I had. Dang it. Now I'm clicking on the wrong buttons. See, I'm sitting here thinking that I'm going to figure out his secret, and now I'm on all the wrong filters. Darn it.
No, yeah, no, it's not a filter. It's not a filter.
Dang, that's what I get for
It's
doing
just
all
a
that.
phone setting.
Oh, here we
Yeah.
go.
But yeah, it's definitely too many gems. They say it's too many gems. They forgot what we was talking about. But
Dang.
it
Oh,
might
it
have been
was
the
it was something big.
the Grant Cardone, the 10X. I know we was talking about that for a second.
Y'all go down that path. Maybe it'll trigger it. But basically, dang, it was such a good concept. But basically, the 10x
Community.
rule.
We was talking about community, all that. But go
Oh,
ahead.
memberships. Here's what I was going to say. Thank
Yeah.
you. Whoever said community, thank you. So basically, I went to Villanova. Villanova is 97% white. I was
Mhm.
part of the 3% that wasn't white. And they
You
come from,
was?
he was. I look kind of fair skinned with this filter on. Now I'm just playing. But So the tuition was $40,000 a year. Now, I did not pay $40,000 a year. I had what do you call it? A scholarship for scholastic stuff. So it wasn't like a sports scholarship. It was for science. And and how they gave me housing as well. So the kids are paying $40,000 a year. Let's divide that up. 40,000 divided by 12 is roughly $4,000 a month to get educated on something that they may or may not use in the future. So when you compare $4,000 a month to, let's say, your membership costs $200 a month, that's light years different than $4,000 a month.
Yes.
So just so people understand the value is that those universities bring in people like us to teach their students. So you're getting the same thing and you're not getting robbed
a
by
fraction of the cost, not even, literally a fraction. And I'm glad you brought that up because I like to say, like, I went to Full Sail. My education at Full Sail for about 1 year was damn near $100,000 for that 12 months that I was at Full Sail. It was like 80 grand, and then you start adding up all the interest on top of that, your housing costs, all that. So we bought $100,000 in the hole after leaving Full Sail for 12 months, right? And then I get so that's why that's a part of my journey on YouTube is a liberation for my people. So like, listen, man, we don't got no $100,000, like, that caused a lot of strain on people trying to figure out where you're gonna get this money from. And then after that, you got to pay these student loans back and all of that. So nothing against Full Sail. I learned what I needed to learn to help take me to the next level. But at the same time, I'm like, if I can save, some people from that, from having to go to that down that path, because it was a lot of like it was hard for us. It was, we ain't rich. We just took out loans, and my mom ended up losing her house during this time while I'm at Full Sail. So
Sorry to hear that.
I wanna, I'm sorry to hear it too. Look, I owe my mom's a house, like for real though. So like that's why I want to make my courses affordable for people. That's why I've been put free content on YouTube. So and I love when people be like, "Yo, Way, I just opened up a studio business straight off of everything I learned from your YouTube channel. And I never went to school. I learned everything from you and got a business going. So that's ultimately what I'm here for.
That's a key leader. Like, for example, I made our business made 7 figures back in 2000, I think 17. And think about how many people, I'm not even saying that to say that, I'm really saying it to say, think about how many people we've shared wisdom and knowledge with to create millions. Like, I mean, if I showed you guys all the testimonials, you can go to my BusyWorks Beats IG to see all the little testimonial highlights for all the top producers that you guys know. Those guys are generating millions combined. So it's like, okay, us sharing our knowledge is literally creating 20 million in the market, like hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's when you realize that power, that's what makes you such a good leader, is because you're not selfish to say, I'm going to hoard this information and I'm going to get rich, but nobody else can get rich with me. That's the difference between a Jay-Z and one of those guys with the money going down the arm, you know what I mean? Like whatever that's called, the money phones or whatever. So that's
the money spread. My
the
man, I got one of them in here right now. He said he would call it the money spread.
there's a lot, the money spread. And
But
to
no,
think,
that's the difference though. Like you said, is that you bringing people along with you versus just taking it off for yourself, or what I'm saying, thinking about yourself.
yeah, like people don't know the L's I've taken. I've taken a $50,000 loss because I stopped putting out my music videos. I had $50,000 worth of music videos that I filmed and had edited and everything, but I didn't put them out to save a relationship because it was the message I was putting out was not who I was. I was putting out a message like I was a player and a pimp, whatever, and all this type of stuff. I had girls all in the videos. Just if you guys look up I actually took the videos down on YouTube, so you can't even find the music videos. But if you've seen them, you know what I'm talking about. So I took those down and I took that L. That's 50,000 loss, whatever. I've taken a $50,000 loss with a platform development. I had to count it as a loss. I've taken, how much was that? Maybe a $20,000 loss with a studio project that just didn't go well during the pandemic because I just didn't want to be around people, to be honest with you. Took that 20. See, people don't see all the huge. So I ended up paying, let's say, 100,000. That was my education, was just taking an L, like for real, an L, never to get returned. So even if people have made that mistake and have gone to university and law, see it as a loss, I too have taken a loss, and that's you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope, and I also I see that as a you gotta take a loss to be a boss. It sounds like a rap lyric, but and that's just because the bosses is the one that's willing to take the risk, right? Who put themselves in position, which means like yes, this could either pay off big or it could fail. But at the end of the day, like we gotta move. We can't stay still. So we're gonna either be leaning on the right side or the wrong side, but we definitely not stand still. And that's to me, that's the definition of like being what a boss is being willing to take the risk. And then that's why the bosses get the highest reward because you done took all the risk. And if it was to fail, it was gonna fall on you anyway, It was gonna fall all
Right.
on me. So
Right. Because
taking the risk is so important. And that's just something that we all gotta do out here is take risks.
yeah, people don't understand. And I want to ask you the chat because I can't see the chat. I might have to
You
leave and
can't
come
see the
back.
chat? Oh, it
I
froze up.
literally, yeah. But
I can see it. I can read it to you.
oh, so basically for the chat, I want to understand their biggest obstacles coming into living their dream because we're in it. Like we have something moving, but they don't have something that's necessarily moving it. I want to understand what is their biggest frustration right now, just trying to live out that dream where they can feel independent and free of time. That's the big thing. They want the time back
Mm,
from like going to work every day, waking up, like even waking up for this, I was like, should I get in the shower? Should I not get in the shower? Like I didn't feel like it. I've been
right.
getting in the shower. I felt like being here, but I was like, should I work out beforehand? Because I've been eating terrible. I gained 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks, probably from coping mechanisms. So I felt terrible. I was like, dang, but I made a commitment and we're gonna do it. So I want to know people's struggle that's blocking them from beginning because again, you mentioned before leaving a job. And I think the biggest mistake people make is like going from one thing directly to another thing without transitioning.
Mm.
They just like, all right, I'm quitting and I'm going straight to music and I have no traction in music and I'm just gonna quit and it's
I
just
love what you said right there, Busy. You said you ain't really feel like getting up or waking up early or getting on camera, but you made a commitment, right? And to me, that's one of the most important things that we can do as to help free ourselves is commit to doing the things that we know will move us forward, and then actually showing up and doing them, right? Because it might not be always easy. Yeah, I'm gonna commit to being at the gym at 7 in the morning, and then when it's time to do it, all right, now we're not there, right? Or we can find a reason not to do it. But when you actually stick to your commitments and commit for one, commit quickly to the things that you know gonna move you forward. Like, yes, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna commit to that, and then actually show up and do it. Um,
right. The excuses are literally the dagger that people keep stabbing into themselves and wondering why their business is bleeding. It's your excuses.
mm,
They literally are like knives. There's something called death by a thousand cuts. It's not the one thing that takes people's time and energy away. It's the thousand little things. It's the thousand. Here's what happens psychologically, and then we can read the chat because I can't see it.
yep, I got you.
Psychologically, psychologically, what happens is, for example, if I say, "Hey, Wavy, I'm gonna join you at 10 a.m. Eastern," and then I don't show up. Now, the next time I say I'm going to join at 10 a.m. Eastern, are you going to really believe me?
It depends on how
Maybe,
good
me.
the excuse was.
Yeah, because I've built up so much. So here's what I'm saying. People who
Right.
don't back up their words with actions, we don't believe their words anymore.
Yeah.
So you know how you use a dollar, a US dollar?
Right.
It used to be backed by gold. So the dollar had value because it was backed by an actual asset. So when we say words, we have to back it with actual actions so that the words have value. If
Mm-hmm.
we don't back it with actions, our words don't mean anything, even to ourselves. So if I made the commitment to myself to say I'm going to the gym at 7, I don't go. Now I'm saying to myself, I don't even believe my own self.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't believe, you actually don't move forward on any action. Because if you don't believe you can achieve something, your body does not even commit the chemical reactions to go do it. So, quite literally, excuses are you stabbing yourself and bleeding out, and you're basically killing yourself. You're killing your dream alive when you make excuses.
They say a coward dies 1,000 deaths.
That sounds like a sample
Yeah.
that somebody should sample.
Somebody, a coward dies 1,000 deaths, man. All right,
Mm,
so we got some chats here. Um,
okay.
let's see. Young IGG says that I guess the biggest obstacle is a fear of success and failure.
Hmm. Well, how did you deal with imposter syndrome or just like the other side of the fence?
Oh man, honestly, I did deal with imposter syndrome for a while, and sometimes I do because as I keep elevating, I keep finding myself in bigger places and bigger rooms with people that I feel like, damn, this person way smarter than me, or they know way more than I know. What the hell am I doing here? But then I remember that, hey. For one, I'm a continued work in progress, right? And I'm always just show up as myself. And if I find myself in a situation, it must be because I have some value to bring, and it's not the same value as the other people who are there. So I just need to continue to be myself and realize that what I have is valuable. It's not the same as you. It's not the same as you. It's what I bring. So to me, that's how I really get through it, and I just keep continue to learn and just keep trying to be better every time.
I love that because you said something that was higher level, which is because Clubhouse taught me this. When
Mm.
you get in a room and they're really doing business, like $100 million a year, you're like, all right, my business advice, let me shut up because I don't know anything. And you're like, what do I have to contribute to somebody who knows way more than me? And that's the other side of imposter syndrome is fitting in a room. And that's a social hierarchy thing. And like you're right, to stay in that environment, you have to say, what is my difference? They accept me for me, whether I'm on their level of $100 million a year or not. They accept me for me. So let me be myself and let me just speak as a human. Like the two most powerful words I've read in the Bible are Jesus wept. It's
Mhm.
two words.
Mm.
And the reason that was so powerful is because it takes a deity figure like a Jesus and it humanizes the deity figure in one sentence. Jesus, meaning this high being, wept, meaning it's a human emotion that brings them from being a deity down to a human. So we need to humanize a lot more. Like probably need to go on live more, but I just don't like being on camera like that. Um,
Says the 800,000 YouTube man.
I get my webcam is this tiny on the
Okay.
screen, but we just need to remind ourselves to, excuse me, remain human and be emotional and what's the word? Connect with folks. And like you said, we have that imposter syndrome sometimes, but that's because we're identifying as the deity.
Yeah.
But when we humanize, we're like, okay, that's when we get over imposter syndrome. When we're stop trying to be the god or the deity of the room, and we kind of be human. Man, what was the other? You said, oh, fear of success.
Yeah, yeah. So that was that person, young IG. They said fear of success and failure. So I guess they scared of both of them.
Well, one, if you fail, will you die? That's the real failure.
Will you
Um,
die?
will you die?
And then
And
I even if death is the failure, I'm like, well, everybody dies. So is it really that bad? And
you're
if you
right.
die in search of your success, then I don't
Get
know,
rich or
man.
die trying.
You gotta try.
I'll tell you guys, since I can't even see the chat, I've been to the other side. I've seen heavenly things. I've had a spiritual experience when I was 20 years old. I used to work for Goodwill in the back. And it was the most real thing I've ever had in my entire life. So without telling you guys the entire story, I was told three things. One is show love, and I was shown somebody hugging somebody. Two is to be filled with the spirit of truth, which is what you guys are doing today. I can't even see what you're saying or how many people are here, but you're seeking truth. You're being filled with the spirit of truth. Some people call it the Holy Spirit, whatever. And then the third thing is complete your assignment. So we're all here with a purpose to complete a purpose or an action. And what is that thing? My thing specifically is to give Bibles. I do that physically with Bibles. I haven't done it in a while, but also through parables and sharing the message of those kind of higher wisdom things. But everybody here has an assignment. And I was shown that in an actual experience where I don't know if I was in the body, outside the body, but I've definitely felt the source of joy and like the actual source. So I felt it for myself. It's not that I read about it, it's not that I heard about it. So it gave me so much clarity when coming back to this life. It gave me so much clarity. So, like you said, the fear of failure, I'm not afraid of death per se because I already know that the creator or the source of joy exists. It's not even like a question anymore. So it's like I'm not afraid of this reality because there's a reality that's more real than this reality.
Mm.
But a lot of people haven't had that, so that's not fair to everybody. But I wanted to share that because it takes away the fear of failure, so to speak. But the fear of success, riding in your Lamborghini, you scared? You scared riding in your Lamborghini?
When you hit 140 with the top down, it can get kind of scary.
Like, I mean, like what part of success I mean, outside of yes men and women just lying to you to get your resources, what are you really afraid of?
Hey, I don't know, man. Look, let's go to the chat. We got some more here. Blicker Beats. It's a couple people said it's Blicker Beats and the Rob Snow. They both got a similar issue. Rob Snow says, I get up early and manage my time well, but it still isn't enough time with the 40-hour work week. And then Blicker Beats says, me, the balance of family and working on my craft, that's his struggle. So both of them kind of having a work life, kind of balance issues.
What can I ask you? How did you transition, like from the college level over? Like, how did you commit and make that commitment?
Well, for me, so let's see. When I moved, I was working freelance while I was living in New York City, right? Working as a freelance engineer, and that was kind of rocky. I didn't have any kids or anything there, but towards my ending years in New York, before I decided to move back home, I had my first child. My first son was born. And so I was like, okay, I'm looking for something that's going to be a little bit more stable for me because, being a freelance engineer, some nights you might not be eating. So I'm like, all right, I need something a little more. So I started to do teaching and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I can teach people. So I would host different lectures in the studio and charge people a fee to come and learn how to record and mix like that. That's when I got linked up with the college back in my hometown, EI. And so I was like, okay, cool. I can come and work there and teach production recording at the school, and that'll give me some nice stability to do whatever else I need to do. So I did that, and with that kind of was already taking up like 8 hours of my day. It got to a point to where I worked at the school for a few years. They had some issues, with as like a for-profit institution. That a lot of those schools ran into some issues, and they end up having to close down. Now with that, I basically just sat in my studio. I was renting out a studio space, and I was sitting in there like, damn, like, what am I do now? Now this was my main source of income, and so I really just kind of plotted out a budget to how much money I needed to make. And I told myself I want to do it all from the studio. I had already started doing YouTube at that time. It wasn't really taking off huge though. But so I was just kind of right. I was like, all right, this is how much time I need to book in my studio. This is how many hours I need to have booked. This is what I need to do. So I had that figure. I knew exactly how many hours I needed to book. And so I started calling clients up like, hey, I need to get the studio booked, blah, blah, blah. Let's get you in. And so I started filling up my calendar and thinking of other ways. Okay, I need to make $3,000 more this month. Let's throw a showcase or whatever. So I would literally be thinking like, what are my financial goals and needs? And then start to think about like, what did I need to do to make it happen? And that's how I kind of took my same work schedule, that same mentality that I had when I was working full time to kind of apply that same drive to me. Um, when you independent, it's easy to be like, I'm gonna sleep in till 11, 12. I can party every night. But like, no, I was like, no, if I woke up at 7 a.m. and gave them that and I was there by 7 a.m. every day, I'm gonna do that same thing for myself. So that's why I do this like every day. I'm still on the same grind. I get up early and I come to my office. I'm here by 9 a.m. just because like that's how that we run in the business over here. So and that's how I'm focused. Like I did this for another company. I definitely gotta do it for myself. And
Yeah,
then just kind of time blocking, man. With that, putting everything on the calendar, getting everything scheduled as much as possible. That's really how I try to transition.
I was wondering why you're up at 9. So you have a separate place from, sleeping, and then you work in a separate workplace.
Oh yeah. Yep. So I got kids, man. I got 3 kids in my house. Um, and I
Okay.
and so and a lot of time when I was working in New York City, working for the rappers and stuff, I would be overnight in the studio, and sleeping on the studio couch. But now I like going home at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and playing with my kids after school. So I want to schedule my life to where I can get my work done while they're at school, and then. Once I'm done, I like to be home chilling with them. I don't want to be in the studio till 6 in the morning no more. I want to go home.
That I'm glad you said that, because that is okay. For everybody who's here, again, I can't see who's here and who's not. Basically, what I've observed when I was at my commercial studio is that the actual business owner, the one who actually had the most money, me and him were there from 9 to 5, like the whole day, like the daytime.
Yes.
Everybody else who was just doing it as a side thing, or maybe they were balancing with their job and all this type of stuff, who weren't making as much money, were doing it from 10 to 5 a.m. Like the people who make the money are going in from 9 a.m. to 6, because there's a myth that says the music industry only lives at night. That's not true. Like that's for people who are, I'm not saying everybody works during the day like that, but when you have your business together, that's business hours. Like I'm just glad you said that, because the successful people are on that type of time.
For sure.
And you said something really important, which is to be accountable for our time. I think when we do the math, not to make this a whole lecture, but you have 24 hours in a day. Okay. You have 3 sets of 8 hours. 8 hours you're sleeping. So let's take that away. And then you have 8 hours you're working. You're left with 8 extra hours. And this is what I meant by death by 1,000 cuts. What are we doing with the 8 hours? We have to be accountable. You're using time blocks, for example. Yeah. But what are we really doing with those blocks of time? We're wasting it. We're sleeping. We're doing some kind of vice, which makes us sleep. We are
playing TikTok and all this stuff, you know.
And 5 minutes turns into 30, and we just don't add up all that time, and it ends up to equal our 8 hours. But that's the 8 hours you have to invest in your future, and that's what people waste every single day, because they don't account for it. They don't go line by line. Here's the hour I spend here. Here's the hour I spend here. If you focus on your money and you look at all your expenses, you're going to cut the expenses that are fluff. Like when you focus on something, it grows. So if you don't have time, you need to focus and measure your time.
Absolutely. What gets measured gets managed. And that's definitely some words I live by, is what gets measured gets managed. That go with your time, your diet, your bank account, everything. You got to be checking the scoreboard. So if you feel like you don't have enough time, like really see where that time is going. And if you working 40 hours a week, like Busy just said, that means you working 8 hours a day. There's a whole nother 8 hours somewhere that you could be putting in somewhere, right? And so what's happening with those other 8 hours, right? Even if it's, let's say you got an hour commute, right? Something that I like to do is listen to audiobooks and podcasts, right? That way, if I got to commute somewhere, or if I'm in the gym or something, I'm spending that time also doubling up. I'm learning something. I'm hearing some inspiring words that's going to help get me in the right frame of mind. Like Lil Baby, cool, but I can't listen to him on an hour-long commute. Like damn, I feel like I'm wasting something. Am I wasting time here?
That's hilarious. That choice between, should I listen to music or listen to something educational or entertaining? That's funny at the same time. But you're right. I forgot about the commute. So let's say it's an hour commute. That's 2 hours out of your day gone. Then you got to recover from work mentally. So that's another 2 hours. So you're down 4. And there's something called the ultradian, ultra, and then ultradian, ultra, and then DN after ultradian rhythm. And people don't understand that you need rest time. So I'm sure you frequent the gym a lot.
A little bit.
A little bit? I need to get myself back in the gym. I'm getting a little pudgy and look, here's how you know if you're getting big, is when you don't naturally have the little indentation thing. But
you're making dimples. But look, man, there might be something we need to start, because I think that's something else in our industry. A lot of people, they don't get active enough because our jobs cause us to sit down so much. Maybe we get on a little fitness kick or something like that, man.
Yeah, we should make a standing desk brand and then sell everybody some standing desks to get fit.
I'm with it. Let's do it.
Producer desks 2022. I'm saying all that to say how I lost my train. Oh, the ultradian rhythm. I'll type it in the chat. I don't know if they can see the chat, but ultradian rhythm. And basically our body goes through cycles. So that's why I was trying to get up to see the sunlight. A lot of us, we sleep in so long because we don't expose ourselves to the actual sunlight, because the sun goes through our eyelids and it wakes us up. It wakes our brain up. So you need light to wake you up. And our brain works off of what's called a circadian rhythm. That's called the circadian rhythm when it goes based on light. But there's something else called the ultradian rhythm. And it's basically cycles about 4 hours of cycles. So that's why I asked you about the gym, because when you're working out, you rest. You don't just work out. It is never sit down or never, have those in between times.
Yeah.
Resting is the key, because rest allows the proteins to actually rebuild your muscle and everything. So we don't do the same. We don't realize we have to do the same thing mentally when we're in work mode. So that's also what eats up that other bit of time, is that time we need to rest. So study the ultradian rhythm. It's basically cycles of 4 hours where we're either up or we're down. We're either in rest mode or productive mode. and you just need to know where you are.
So is that like during those cycles, or is that does that mean like you can only is that you only kind of productive for like 4 hours at a time, and then like you need another 4 hours before you reach peak productivity again?
According to their science, yes,
Okay,
because I think that's where the kind of 4 hour, you know how they break up 4 hours in the work week and the work day.
right.
It's not built perfectly around it, but that's kind of where the concept came from. We
So
kind
you
of
got like your 4 hours, then you got a lunch break, and then 4 hours again.
and then back on. Even though they have it set up back to back, it'd probably be more ideal if we went four, rested, came back to work later. But that would take forever at a traditional
Yeah.
at a traditional
But
workspace.
I kind of do that because I go to the gym like middle of the day, and like because I'll come in the studio, I start my work early, 9 o'clock or something, and then around like 1 p.m. I'll go and I call it my recess, and then I go and work out, and then I come back because I honestly I reach a point to like once I get to like 1 o'clock or something, I'm like I can't even think right now. I need to go and do something that doesn't require so much thinking.
He said, "I can't even think right." No, because it happens when you're probably shooting videos. Your body's like, "All right, I'm done."
Yeah,
It's either the 2 hour mark or the four. You're gonna feel it,
yeah.
and that's a scientific, chemical reaction going on. So as long as people understand that, that's how they're gonna get to the next thing. I didn't know if there's any questions, but
Let me
can't
see.
see
Let me
any.
go to the chat, man, because that I think everybody just really they enjoying the conversation. Salute, brother. They smart, man. Yo, Busy Works, you're a genius, man. You one of the smartest
Oh,
people I know out here. I appreciate being on this call with you.
oh, thank
Um,
you. This
yeah,
is.
man, cool. Everything really does deal with math and science. Let's see.
Put my wavy headphones on so I could look fly on the live. No, I
Um,
just that's what I respect is that
yeah,
not only are you like honoring, relationship stuff, which that's a whole different thing people don't understand. It's also you think outside the box and you're making extremely dope content. So that's like 12 lives in one. People don't
uh,
understand the magnitude of like excellence that you have to have to do that.
yo,
Where's the
thank
left?
you,
Oh,
man.
here we go.
Let me
But
see.
yes,
All right, you got any tips on starting your own studio?
oh,
Hmm.
I think that
I
was for
mean,
you.
I guess so. If it's up to me, my tip on starting, I like those
Yeah,
headphones.
it's supposed to have.
Tips on
Okay.
starting your own studio. I would say honestly, go and work at another studio first. Like go and intern at a studio, at least get in on the intern level at a commercial facility so you can learn the inner workings for free basically, or even getting paid if you're working like an entry level job. That's to me, you learn how to book clients, you learn how to treat clients, you know what their expectations are when they come into a studio. And to me, that was invaluable. I always believe in the infiltration method. If you want to start a business, infiltrate the business first, right? If you want to start a restaurant, go work at a restaurant and learn all they processes. Forget going to school for it. Go work at a restaurant, be work your way up to management at the restaurant. You handling the books, you know the suppliers, you know how to book the schedule and you know the hiring process, and then you go and start you a restaurant, right? That's free and that's paid education right there. So that's what I recommend for somebody who wants to start a studio. Is go and infiltrate another studio.
You said you're getting paid and educated at the same time.
Yeah, infiltrate and educate.
Infiltrated. It's so crazy because when I talk now, I don't hear the reverb off the walls. So it's a whole different experience right now with these
Hmm.
on. No, you're right. Is commercial studio is different. You have to understand cost analysis and all types of stuff. It's different than just kicking up the keyboard. I mean, kicking up the laptop and calling it a day. You got to think about other people's desire. Like it's like a hotel business, basically.
It's exactly like a hotel business, man. Like a five-star hotel is what you want to run your studio like.
Exactly. And what is the weirdest thing you've seen people want or desire though in a studio? Because I have one that's kind of funny.
You got I don't know if it was nothing too weird that I can think of.
Like
I mean,
somebody,
not nothing that I would say publicly. Nah, but
yeah, publicly, nah, somebody wanted a fridge, and I just thought that was the funniest thing to have in
a
a studio.
fridge. They wanted a whole fridge in the studio.
A fridge. I was like, you know how loud that thing's gonna be for these cables?
That's
Having a
crazy.
fridge. Oh
That
man.
is wild. Let me see. Any other question here? How do you stay creative and stay inspired? Busy, let's go with you on that one.
What I realized is that creativity is really rearranging components. So whatever you're doing, you're looking at it at a macro level. So for example, my body, this is one body, one sexy body. You know that song picks up the I'm too sexy for a
Yo,
mic
put
pick.
the hearts up for my man.
I can't even see the hearts, but shout out to the chat, whoever's here. And what was I gonna say? See, I lost my train of thought being
Your
silly.
creativity is really
Oh,
rearranging components. You was blowing us away real quick with your genius.
thank you. So my body is a one body, but this body really has 100 trillion cells,
Hmm.
all acting for the will of the ether, which is my mind. Okay. So in other words, my body is one thing, but it's 100 trillion things combined. So you need to take the one thing that you're looking at, whether it's art, music, and break it down to components. There's something below, there's something on the meta level, there's something below the subconscious level, the surface. We could look at who's an artist that just popped out. Like The Weeknd, he just dropped.
Mm.
We could say, okay, that's The Weeknd and that's 80s. Okay, but what synthesizer did he use? What recording mic did he use? What vocal chain did he use? Where was he at? Which studio? What syncopation did he use? What key? You could break it down into all these little micro components, and then you take all those little ingredients and you rearrange them to be something different. And then you get a Tory Lanez album, or you rearrange them, you get an Ariana Grande album. So that's creativity, is understanding the surface level thing, breaking it down into all the micro components, and then rearranging the micro components. And here's my example. You heard of producer grind, right?
Yes.
The producer gang, whatever they call it, everybody there. Um, so when you grind at a rock, you're smashing it into ash or dust, right? So imagine a rock in my hand or this paper towel, and then we smash it into little fibers.
Okay.
What creativity is once I smash it to little fibers, I take all the little fibers and I rearrange it into a different shape. So instead of this square shape, I'll make it a ball shape next time. That's
Mm.
creativity. It's taking the break it down, rebuild it. You got to tear something down
Mm.
into pieces.
Yo, that's high level talk right there, man. That's too deep. That's too deep. Creativity is really just rearranging the components. Okay, so you take the surface level thing, you break it down to all of its components, to its smallest organism, you rearrange them, and then you got something totally new.
I mean, think about it. You just gave me a thought. I mean, think about the thing that's spreading around the world right now. It's just rearranging its DNA.
Hmm.
It's called mutations. It's mutating,
Yes.
and it's a new thing every single.
And every time it does that, it's a new thing.
It's a new thing.
It's
And I had a thought in there, but it slipped my mind. Wait, breaking stuff down. Oh, a Harvard professor says he assigns his students three books, two that oppose each other directly, and then a third perspective. And then what the student's job is to do is not say this person's right, that person's wrong. It's to synthesize
hmm
your own belief about it. So this is called triangulation. It's also called the scapegoat theory of like any religion. Did you come up religious or like under like?
semi, like, my family is Christian.
Oh yeah, same. So like the Baptist, I came up, like
Yeah,
Southern. I think they
Baptist
call it
church.
Southern.
Yeah, Southern Baptist, Pastor Houston, Cadillac gold frame glasses.
Pastor
I'm
Houston.
there. That's his name. Shout out to Pastor
Oh, the
Houston.
actual, that's his name. Okay, shout out to him. Praise the Lord. I came from Christian too, and in that in that concept or story, you have the Trinity, because you have the Father, the Holy Spirit, and then the Son.
Right.
And who got sacrificed? The
The son.
Son. It's a scapegoat. So when you understand, triangulation is about a scapegoat mechanisms. For example, if me and you were fighting
Yeah.
about something, if we created a common enemy, we're not directing ourselves at each other anymore. We're now aiming in a different direction. This is how Trump became the president. He said
Hmm.
Muslims are bad, and then everybody stopped looking at Trump as the evil guy and pointed to a third party. That's called triangulation,
Hmm.
and it's called the scapegoat mechanism. And this is what we need to do with creativity. We need to take three angles or two, opposing angles, and synthesize the third angle. But that's why the professor gave them three angles, is because it's really a triangle of thought. And that's another way to get creativity, is to take other perspectives, even if you don't agree with it. Just step into somebody else's shoes for a second, because his filter that he's looking through is different than my filter that I'm looking through.
Right.
So both realities are real.
So does that mean does that mean like collaboration is a way to get more creative? You collaborate with other people and y'all creating something new, right? You got two different perspectives, and you know the way you look at things is different than the way I look at it. So whatever we do together is gonna be a new baby of both of them points of views.
Look at you you show people how to translate. If you're a bubble and you walk, have you seen two bubbles collide before?
Yeah,
Now imagine, for everybody else, you have a bubble over here,
everybody's seen two bubbles before, but go ahead.
yeah, and then you merge the bubble, and it creates that little in between bubble, that little
Okay.
bubble that overlaps the other bubble, and that's what you're creating is another universe, so to speak, when you
Oh,
collide with somebody else. So
so
that's
they say
actually
one
pretty cool.
plus one equals three. Now we talking different mathematics.
You want to get crazy with it? Zero is not nothing. Weren't
Okay,
we talking?
what is zero?
Zero is all things. Zero is actually everything.
Mm.
I know that sounds crazy, but one minus one is zero, right?
One minus one is zero, correct?
And if you add one to one side, you get one equals one, right?
Right,
And if you subtract one from the one side, it's one minus one equals zero.
right.
So zero is literally everything. It's everything combined. It's a balance.
Mm.
Zero is not nothingness, and that's another
Zero
thing
is
that we're taught. Zero is literally everything in balance.
mm.
And that was random, but
Nah,
so sugar the thought. Now we're getting into 3 a.m.
like the
talks.
color black. Yeah.
Is it all colors? The color black?
I don't know. That's what the chat is saying. Listen, y'all getting too metaphysical in here for me.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious.
Something
But
minus something equaling something else is what I'm reading this from the chat.
shout out to
Okay.
the chat. I can't see anything,
Now
but
the chat
we
is
should
smart.
we should do a part two so that we leave people on the hook and we keep
We
them
we
coming back.
should. You know what? So I think we had a good point right now because we didn't drop so many we just dropped so many gems on them today, man. I think that we got to cancel this show right now and
Not cancel.
definitely leave them on the hook so we come back for more busy. Yo, shout out to everything that you're doing. You a staple in the community for education, and you really a pioneer out here, man. So salute to you for sure.
Oh,
Make sure y'all
thank you.
tap in with him. If everybody not already tapped in with Busy Works Beats, please follow him. He got a free book that he just put out. All you gotta do is respond to his story, get that free book. Subscribe to the Instagram so you can learn FL. I know y'all came here thinking it was gonna be some FL versus Studio, FL Studio versus Pro Tools talk, but we got to a higher level on this morning. We can take y'all there anytime. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. A little morning
Yo,
motivation today. We could always do the FL versus. That's kind of fun, actually.
it is, man. We'll get on that on another one. We're gonna bring that back. But I love what we got into today, man. Yo, Busy. I appreciate you tapping in with me, man.
Thank you, thank you. He's like, you can't crossfade in FL,
Yeah.
but I no, you really get so hard in FL.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, again, this is like our first in-depth combo, and this is why this is how I know you're just on a different level. It's because you don't need this kind of pretext to just get straight into being like we're already connected. I know that didn't make any
Yeah.
sense, but my
Nah,
point is,
I feel exactly what you're saying, man. I feel exactly what you're saying. We people, we humans, you know what I'm saying? I see you. I feel like I see you, man. So I appreciate you seeing me.
good man. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
join the Wavy SEALs. I want more. What do they call the? I guess they're called SEALs. The people who join the Navy SEALs.
Yes.
I almost called them Marines for a second. We need more SEALs operations going on.
We definitely need more SEALs, man. I'm gonna make you an honorary member of the Wavy SEALs Elite, man. I'm gonna tap you in. Just shoot me your email address and then I got you in there.
Oh, that's sick. I just saw a video on TikTok speaking of where they had Marines like tied up behind their back and then they were in a pool. Like, I don't know if you saw the video, but they were like, they just threw them in the deep end of a pool tied up with their hands behind their back and they had to survive. And it was like, some people don't survive that test. That's
Oh
crazy to me.
yeah, the SEALs training is crazy. Shout out to David Goggins, man. You ever read his book? Can't
Is
hurt me.
is he the one that talks about like the Navy SEALs victory on Wall Street and all that? Or no?
I don't think he wasn't talking about nothing on Wall Street for real. He did the David Goggins. He like a black Navy SEALs guy. He does like all these ultra marathons and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely check him out. He got a dope little story and a dope book called Can't Hurt Me.
Can't hurt me. Okay, I'm gonna look it up right after this.
I bet. Yo, thanks, Busy. We gonna part two coming soon.
In part two, there it is. All right, guys. For everybody who's here, forgive me if I didn't acknowledge you. My thing literally froze. But thank
No,
you, thank you, thank you. I'll catch
yeah,
up with
thanks
you.
to the badge supporters. Thanks to everybody that came through and followed us.
Yeah,
It's
buy a
love.
badge. Y'all can't leave here without buying a badge. It's $3.99. I mean, y'all that stingy? So send us a Chick-fil-A. Actually, I don't need Chick-fil-A. Send us some daggone, what's healthy? Salad funds over to Wavy Wayne, and that'll motivate me to go work out today.
All right, there we go, man.
Buy a badge. All right, peace out, guys.
All right, peace, Busy.